If you're struggling with sleep, what's the best natural sleep supplement you should be taking? And what should you take if you're having trouble falling asleep versus having trouble staying asleep? What if you're waking up early because of stress or you're dealing with chronic pain? In this video, we're going to cover all of that. I'll tell you about my experience with each of these, and I'll even give you my personal favorite combination of these supplements. Over 50% of adults worldwide don't get enough sleep, and it's understandable. People are busy, stressed, they're strung out, and everyone's just trying to do their best. But you can't function at your best if you're not recharging fully and getting enough good quality sleep. I used to struggle falling and staying asleep, and I've also helped many of my clients cure their insomnia or just improve their overall sleep hygiene and achieve healthier sleeping patterns. And in the process of doing that, I've tested dozens of different supplements, and I found that some work well in some situations and not as well in others. So that's why I wanted to come up with this video to break down the top 7 natural sleep supplements that you might want to try given your situation. Before we get into the supplements, you need to know that if you haven't focused on cleaning up your sleep hygiene, these supplements will only do so much. Sleep hygiene is definitely the place to start. So after we go through the supplements, I'll also walk you through a sleep hygiene checklist so you can see if there's anything that you might be missing. And as I said before, I'll even share with you my personal favorite combination of these supplements. So make sure you watch the video until the end because that might be the real game changer for you. When it comes to supplements, first I want to clear the air and tell you why I don't recommend taking melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone naturally produced in your pineal gland. But the problem with store-bought melatonin is the variety in dosages. Some third-party testing has revealed that the real dosages in certain melatonin supplements are not always accurately reflected by the labels. So just given the uncertainty about how much you're actually taking, I try to avoid it. Now, I will say I do use melatonin selectively when I travel because it's a fantastic way to quickly reset your circadian rhythm. So if I'm traveling across a couple different time zones, I will bring some melatonin to take just for the first night or two because it can help you align your circadian rhythm to that new time zone faster than you would naturally over the course of a couple of days. I personally recommend 5-HTP instead of melatonin. Now, 5-HTP is an amino acid found in an African plant that's actually a precursor to serotonin, and serotonin is a precursor to melatonin. So when you consume 5-HTP, it gives your body a raw building block to produce more serotonin, which it then produces more melatonin from. So this can definitely help with sleep, and the dosages are more accurately labeled. So I would recommend starting with 100 milligrams and going up to 300 if you feel like you need it. I found that 5-HTP is most effective when you're having trouble staying asleep throughout the night or you're not getting as much restful sleep, so you want deeper sleep. Magnesium glycinate is another fantastic supplement for sleep, and I'll just come right out and say it. This one is by far my favorite. It doesn't just help you sleep. Magnesium is essential for over 300 different enzyme reactions throughout your body. So it helps with muscle relaxation, it helps with cognitive function, it helps with cardiovascular health. And when you take magnesium glycinate, you're also getting the amino acid glycine, which is a key ingredient in glutathione, which is your body's master antioxidant. So you're not only giving your body magnesium for all the reactions it's needed in, you're also giving it glycine, which can help enhance your body's natural detoxification pathways. So I recommend starting with 200 milligrams and taking as much as 500 if you need it. I found that magnesium glycinate is most helpful for those that have trouble falling asleep because they find that their mind is racing. Before we get to the next one, my name's Andrew. I'm a personal trainer, a nutrition coach, and a corrective exercise specialist. And I started Longevity Lifestyle with the mission of helping people like you live a healthier, happier, and longer life. So if you want more content like this, I'd appreciate it if you drop me a follow. Apigenin is a flavanol found in chamomile. You've probably heard people promote chamomile tea as a great sleep supplement. And it's because apigenin promotes sleep and relaxation by enhancing neurotransmitters like GABA. And apigenin also happens to be an antioxidant and have anti-inflammatory effects, so it's fantastic for your overall health. If you're going with the tea, I recommend just having a cup of chamomile tea. If you're taking apigenin as a supplement, you can take anywhere from 50 to 100 milligrams. For me, chamomile is a wonderful way to end the day if you're drinking it in a hot cup of tea. And the health benefits of apigenin are really just the cherry on top. Valerian root is another interesting option. It's an herb that's traditionally been used to alleviate insomnia and reduce anxiety, and so it can improve sleep quality in some people. If you're going to try this, I recommend 300 to 600 milligrams, and you can take it up to 2 hours before bed. Now, I personally haven't found valerian root to do that much for me, but I do have some clients that it's been a game changer for. And it seems to be most helpful for those that end up waking up throughout the night feeling low levels of anxiety or a racing mind. L-theanine is an amino acid that's actually found in tea leaves that promotes relaxation and doesn't cause drowsiness. I personally find that L-theanine is super helpful if I'm waking up super early in the morning because I'm stressed out. So if I notice over the course of the week, I'm waking up at 4 a.m. every day stressed out over work, L-theanine typically helps me sleep in for an additional hour or two. And I personally have found anywhere from 150 to 200 milligrams to do the trick. Ashwagandha is an adaptogen that can help your body manage stress by reducing cortisol and anxiety. Now, there's been some research recently that suggests it can have longer effects on your cortisol response, so you probably don't want to take it more than once or twice a week, but it can be really helpful on a day when you find yourself super stressed. And you can take anywhere from 300 to 600 milligrams. I've definitely found that it promotes deeper sleep, but I've also found that it can be beneficial during the day. Now, you may have heard of CBD, which is hemp extract without the psychoactive compound THC. So it's important that you know taking CBD is not going to have any psychoactive effects like it would if you were to take THC. CBD can promote relaxation, reduce anxiety, and it can even lower inflammation. So it can definitely help if you have trouble falling or staying asleep. For me personally, I've had a bunch of sports-related injuries and surgeries, so I find CBD to be extremely helpful for pain management, but I do not take it every day, and I'm mindful of the fact that I find that the effects wear off after about 4 hours. So if I'm feeling a decent level of pain and I take CBD to fall asleep, sometimes I end up waking up in the middle of the night once it's worn off. I would start with 20 milligrams, although you may even benefit from starting with as low as 10. And if you don't notice an effect, you could ramp up and take as much as 50 milligrams. And if you don't notice an effect, you could ramp up and take as much as 50 milligrams. And it's usually taken in a capsule or as an oil with a dropper. Now, for my personal favorite combination, as I mentioned before, magnesium glycinate for me personally, by far and away the best on here. I end up taking it almost every night because of the added benefits it has to muscle relaxation, cognitive function, cardiovascular health. But I also mentioned if I'm feeling really stressed and I have a couple days in a row where I'm waking up very early in the morning, that's when I'll usually combine the magnesium glycinate with some L-theanine. And that usually helps me sleep in for an extra hour or two and feel a little bit more relaxed the next day. Now, there are time periods where I find myself dabbling with each of these. The other one I find myself using once or twice a week is CBD. As I mentioned, for chronic pain, it's phenomenal. The last thing I want to go through, and this is arguably the most important thing on here, is a quick sleep hygiene checklist. And the first thing that you should know is that light controls your circadian rhythm. So one of the greatest habits that you can implement to improve your sleep, ironically, is getting natural sunlight for 20 to 30 minutes in the morning. That actually sets a biological timer in your brain so that later in the day, your pineal gland produces melatonin at the time you need to go to sleep. And I want to emphasize natural light. This does not mean you wake up and you look at your phone right away. That's actually unnatural light that can throw your circadian rhythm off. So I try to avoid my phone for at least the first hour of the day, and that ends up improving my sleep later that night. And in the evening time, avoiding or limiting artificial light becomes that much more important. So I personally try to shut my phone off a few hours before bed. I try not to look at too many screens. And if I do end up on screens, whether it's watching TV or I'm on my computer or even looking at my phone, I try to use something that removes the blue light from the screen. So if I'm watching TV or I'm on my computer, I'm usually using an app called Flux that removes the blue light, or I use blue light blocking glasses. Or if I'm on my phone, I've changed the settings so that I can actually take out the blue light from the screen. I've personally found the 20-10-3-2-1 rule to be really helpful. 20 minutes of morning sunlight, 10 hours between my last caffeinated drink and sleep, 3 hours between food and sleep, 2 hours between work and sleep, and 1 hour between screens and sleep. And if you have not at least started to optimize your bedroom, definitely don't skip this. You're going to spend 1/3 of your life in your bed. So it's worth investing in a bed that's comfortable and a pillow that's comfortable. I highly recommend trying to remove as much technology as you can from the bedroom, keeping it dark, keeping it quiet, and most importantly, keeping it relatively cool. Studies suggest that the optimal bedroom temperature for sleep is 66 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Thank you for watching this. I hope it was helpful. If you have any particular supplements that you like, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. And if you want more content like this, drop me a follow.